The Duke Blue Devils. This is a team that I can get behind.
Me too.
9-3 last year in the regular season. Manny Diaz, this guy can coach a ball club. They bring in Darian Mensah at quarterback, and I think it's a huge upgrade. I really do. Now, Malik Murphy had some moments last year. Remember, this is a guy that was super highly touted out of high school, ends up at Texas before transferring out to Duke, played last year for the Blue Devils. And let's not be disrespectful. They still won 9 games with Malik Murphy as their quarterback.
They were awesome last year.
They were a great team. Yeah. I actually think you upgrade with Darian Mensah at quarterback because he's so athletic and he offers this dual threat capability. Malik Murphy was a little bit more of a, feet in the ground pocket passer. You bring Mensah in, the Tulane transfer at quarterback. You're going to have a strong defense when your head coach is Manny Diaz. That's just their brand. Chandler Rivers is a fantastic lockdown corner. Terry Moore, a great safety. Trey Freeman, look out for him at linebacker. A game that I can't wait to see, Raza, is when Duke hosts Illinois early on in the season, because I think we're going to learn a lot about the Blue Devils when Luke Altmaier and Brett Bielema come to town.
Yeah, Illinois is a team that's probably going to be ranked in the top 15 to 20 coming into that game. That's another great opportunity for Duke to say, hey, the ACC is not to be messed around with. I absolutely agree with you on Darian Mensah. Of all of the transfer quarterbacks in the Atlantic Coast Conference, he's the one I'm most excited to watch. He headlines a class of transfers that's like surprisingly good for a school like Duke. Like, you can tell that Duke is starting to pour a lot more resources into their football program. They were like, yeah, what Mike Elko did in 23 was cool and all, but whatever. Then Manny Diaz comes and does pretty much the same thing in 2024. And they're like, oh, we might be able to work with this. And so I think they've put a lot of resources towards the football program. Darian Mensah has a chance to be really, really special. I think he's flashed a lot, obviously, albeit at the group of 5 level, but the kid's got potential that's through the roof. He's got a really, really live arm. I can't wait to watch him play. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the defense as well. Like, the ingredients are there for Duke to be a team to really make some noise this year. I think they have an outside shot to make the title game, but it's not, they're not in that top 5 necessarily, but they're right there. And I think if it all goes their way, in a way it kind of did with SMU last year, they can very much have not have to leave the state of North Carolina in the first week of December.
Yeah, I like what Duke brings to the table, no doubt. My question is like, before we move on, Manny Diaz rips off another 9-win season, even 8-win season. Who comes knocking,
Yeah, I mean, the SEC could come calling. The problem is, like,
he had a shot at Miami when he
did. And so many times we've seen guys that excel at the smaller schools, but kind of flounder at the top level. Miami was not a great situation. But we saw how quickly Mike Elko got poached. Manny Diaz could certainly get the call if Auburn's looking for a new head coach at the end of this season.
True.
If a school like, Michigan State is looking for a new head coach at the end of the season. I think it's kind of an identity thing. I think Mike Elko was a great fit for Texas A&M. Obviously, they had ties there. And Manny Diaz had ties at Miami, but it didn't work out. But I think that it's very possible that somebody comes calling, and obviously you'd be a fool not to pick up the phone if the SEC comes calling. So we'll see. I think it's very much on the table, but I would love for him to stick around because Duke's a really fun team to watch these days.
Yeah, no doubt.